Welcome to this Real Love Conversation. This is episode 3, and today I want to talk to you about my relationship inner child. So, in the past, my relationship inner child has become the dominant one. Why is one dominant? It's usually the one who holds the most fear, who feels the most emotional risk, or who feels the most neglected, or is not getting what they need, which also puts them in fear. So, my relationship inner child would attach to whoever she was in a relationship as her source of getting her emotional needs met. And now I understand that's not how it goes. Like, I'm supposed to be able to talk to my relationship inner child, tell her she's loved, tell her she's wanted. But in the past, I did not know that, which most people do not know, that they can meet their own emotional needs and should be meeting their own emotional needs. So I would get in what we call toxic situations. Let's talk about a toxic situation for a second. All that it means when we say that's a toxic relationship or you're in a toxic situation, that relationship or that situation has been polluted by fear. That's all that means. It doesn't mean that the other person's evil. It doesn't mean that you've gotten into a relationship with a devil. It doesn't mean, or a demon. It doesn't mean anything like that. It's just saying this is toxic. What we are sitting in is a pool of toxicity, and it's fear. It has been polluted by fear. And the best way to pollute a relationship by fear is a unhealthy attachment to the other person as the source of your emotional supply. Meaning, it's you believe that your relationship inner child believes it is their job to make sure you feel good and safe at all times. And that's not true. When you are in that fear and you are attaching to another person, and we should probably use the word clinging out of desperation, holding on tightly to a person out of desperation, thinking they're the one that makes me feel how I want to feel. So I have to cling to them to make sure I always get to feel that. But that's where the fear comes. That's fear. Like, you're polluting this situation with your fear of being abandoned, rejected, left, them not wanting you anymore, them not supplying you with, making you feel how you want to feel. That's never their job anyway. But that's where the toxicity comes from. One or sometimes both. Usually it's one at a time. Usually it's not both of you clinging out of fear. Usually one is on the I feel safe and secure in this relationship, and the other one is doing the clinging. And in your relationship, if you're on the I feel safe and secure, your relationship inner child feels safe because it's not having to do all the work. The one who is in the clinging phase is the one putting in more energy and effort into the relationship. They're monitoring your emotions. They're trying to make sure that you're happy with them. They're doing everything they can to please you. They're bending over backwards to change behavior. Whatever you need to stay, they are doing it. They're putting in a lot of energy. Okay? So when they're pouring in all that energy, you're just coasting. All right? And you feel good and safe. Now, there's a part of you that will not like that and will say, oh, well, this is boring. Well, there's no challenge here. There's a part of you that will say that. But then what happens is, let me tell you what happens. If that person, for some reason, begins to realize what's happening, that this is out of balance, and then they wake up to that and say, what am I doing? Like, why am I clinging to this person, pouring in all this energy, all this time, clinging out of fear, and they start to step out of fear. and their behavior starts to change. The person who is coasting now realizes, oh my gosh, where are they? They really like that. They may have convinced themselves, oh my gosh, that person's so this and that. But once that person stops at meeting every single emotional need they had, like on demand, once they stop doing that, then that person on the coast phase, I'm just relaxed and kind of bored with this other person. Once the clinger pulls away and pulls their energy back, then that person freaks out and says, oh my gosh, no, come back. And then they say to themselves, oh, I must really love them. I thought I didn't. I thought I really didn't care that much. But when they pulled away and I could see that they could take it or leave it, which was totally not like them because usually they're so needy and clingy. Now they're going to walk away from it. Now I want it. Now I want it back. Can you see the toxic? You think because you're coasting and because your relationship inner child is calm and not having to do all the chasing and do all that high energy, crazy, wondering, if do they love me, do they not love me? You don't have to wonder that. You know that. You're safe. You're resting. And it feels so good to rest and not have to be the one chasing anymore. It's still unhealthy. It's still toxic. You're still in a toxic situation. You're getting to rest and kind of coast. It's still not love. There's still a lot of fear in your relationship. Not coming from you, coming from the other person. But then as soon as they stop and they start to come out of fear, now you're put back into that, oh, wait, like, come back, like you were keeping me rest, I was resting, and I didn't have to worry about you, and I didn't have to worry about you going away, and I really actually did like all of that, the pouring over me and making sure that, you were emotionally babysitting me all the time out of your fear, not out of love, out of fear, and I got to rest, and now you're pulling away, and now I really want you. No, this must be love after all. I really want you. No. None of that is love. I'm not saying you two can't love each other. I'm not saying there can't be love in the relationship. I'm just saying you're in a fear dynamic. This isn't love. You're in a karmic fear dynamic with this person. If both of you can step out of fear, as in if that person starts to walk away and you see them come out of their fear, instead of your relationship inner child getting upset saying, I'm not going to get what I need anymore, and all that reassurance I used to get all the time, I'm not going to get that anymore. Instead say, oh my gosh, that's so good. I'm so happy for them that they're not in that clinging mode anymore. They're starting to step into their own. They're starting to care about their needs more than mine. I'm happy for them. That's healthy. They should do that. If you can do that when they start pulling back all the fear they're dumping into your relationship, then you two are about to have a very healthy time together. Because you're at peace, your relationship inner child is at peace, and their relationship inner child is starting to come to peace. If you need somebody to cling to you to feel safe, that's a toxic relationship. And that's also indicating to me that you aren't the one supplying that relationship inner child's emotional needs. You're letting the other person, the clingy person, do that for you. You're being lazy and you're letting the other person, out of their fear, meet your every emotional need. You may need to listen to all that again. To sum it up, each person should be keeping their relationship inner child reassured that they are loved and wanted. If you're allowing another person who you know is fearful of losing you who is clinging to you out of fear, if you allow them to be your reassurance that you are loved and wanted, that's unhealthy. If you let them do that, if you just stand by and say, "Oh, I really like this, I don't have to do anything," and they're doing everything, they're scared to death that I'm going to leave them, and they're in more emotional risk than I am. It's a miserable. Like, we've all been in the emotional risky place where we're clinging out of constant fear. That is not fun at all. It is misery for that person. Been there for years. And then I'll step into a relationship where it's the other person who is in more emotional risk, meaning they're more scared of losing me than I am of them. For whatever reason, has nothing to do with love, insecurity levels, past experience, whatever it is. They're more scared than I am. So the less scared person gets to rest and relax. It's still a toxic relationship, meaning it's polluted with fear. So how do you change that? You really want a healthy relationship? Start meeting your own emotions. Start talking to your relationship inner child. When it needs reassurance, stop hounding another person for that reassurance and reassure yourself. Leave them alone. Your inner child is like in total terror. Don't change your behavior and go chasing after them and sacrifice yourself and your whole life for that person because you want their reassurance. Reassure yourself. Constantly reassure yourself. Reassure your own relationship inner child. Hey, whoa, what's wrong? What are you scared of right now? Well, I'm scared that I'm not wanted, I'm not loved, I'm not gonna get what I need, and they're gonna leave, and da. Hey, listen, they're not putting any energy in anyway. You're putting in all the work. And they're just coasting over here, feeling all safe and reassured because you're constantly reassuring them, but they don't give you any reassurance. And so you're having to work for it. Hey, look, come to me. I'm the safe person. Me, inside here with you. I'm never separated from you. I can't be separated from you. Me and you are in this together. Me and you are a team. I will be a much better caretaker than they ever will. Ever. I will always love you. I will always want you. You don't have to work for it. You don't have to keep bending over backwards and meeting their every emotional need and emotionally babysitting and reassuring them all the time and making them feel, so loved out of fear. You're giving them all this time and attention. Their relationship inner child is getting all this time and attention from you because you're afraid. You're doing everything they want you to do. Yes. You're afraid to say no to them. Everything they want you to do, you're doing it out of fear. Your relationship inner child is scared. We're going to end it there. I'll talk more on this later. I hope that you've gotten something out of this so that you can have much healthier relationships and learn how to keep your own relationship inner child calm and reassured.